there's a number of characteristics that are really distinctive. So I think we've been doing research on alternatives for 20 years. And in that time, there's very few asset classes or strategies that provide the same level of uncorrelated returns as ILS does. The reason for that is actually really simple. So the performance is driven by natural catastrophe events such as hurricanes or earthquakes, which can cause losses, but you get paid a premium for taking those risks, which at the current point in time is extremely attractive. So on our portfolio, just as one example, there's a 15% no loss return for a 3% expected loss. So there's a 12% net return, which for something that's got a zero correlation over 20 years with equities, we think is super attractive. So that would be probably the most important key feature. And then some of the other subtleties that are interesting. One is that the level of risk in the portfolio can stay pretty constant through time, but what you get paid for taking that risk can vary enormously. So the reason for that is the level of the spreads or the yield you get is driven by essentially the kind of historic losses that the industry has experienced, both on reinsurance, but also sometimes on the asset side of the balance sheet of reinsurance companies. So they invest in a levered fixed income portfolio. So if you have negative performance as we did in 22, there's capital destruction on the asset side, coinciding with capital destruction from catastrophes on the liability side. So that created a real dearth of capital. So that was one of the catalysts for spreads becoming essentially 2.5 times as wide as they were in 2017, even though the risk is essentially the same. So from our perspective, there's no other asset class that's like that. In equities, if PE multiples are wide, it's usually because things look good. In high yield, if spreads are tight, it's usually because things look good. There's no free lunch, whereas this is kind of an asset allocator's dream because you've got flat risk, but spreads vary, so you can kind of dial up or down based on how attractive it is.